Hi, I'm Suneera Madhani, and I'm a mom of two, a daughter of an immigrant, and an unlikely entrepreneur who went from scaling an idea to a billion-dollar business. Yes, a billion-dollar business. Along the way, I learned that less than 2% of female founders ever hit 1 million in revenue, and I became obsessed on a mission to change that. I believe that there is so much gatekeeping in business knowledge, and that we as female entrepreneurs should be learning from other female founders and leaders who have broken the statistics. Since I never went to CEO school, I've had to learn it all the hard way, but you shouldn't have to, because we believe that you deserve to have it all. And honestly, nothing bad happens when women make more money. Grab a seat because class is officially in session. Welcome to CEO School. Welcome to CEO School. I'm your host, Suneera Madhani, and today for Wind Down Wednesday, I'm relaxing and talking about my top 5 traits that make for a great CEO. So you've heard me go about the statistic before, but in case you haven't, and because I like every opportunity to share it, about 30% of businesses in the US are owned by women, but less than 2% ever break $1 million. That always boggles my mind. And honestly, the worst part, the next part of the statistic is that men are almost 4 times more likely to break the million statistic than women are. And I think about that so often, and I'm like, what is it? Like, I'm frustrated. You're frustrated. We're all here at CEO School. We're frustrated. And we are changing that statistic like one woman at a time. But what makes that difference in being a great business owner or a CEO that can scale to that level? And so I wrote down a list of, not just what makes a good CEO, but what really makes a great CEO. And I wrote down 5 different things that I think truly what can really catapult you into your next level of CEO. And even reflecting upon my own journey as CEO and watching so many other women really succeed, right? So I'm in a space where I'm around successful business owners all day, right? Not just through my customers at Stacks. I get to meet amazing like software partners that we're partnered with, but truly at CEO School, I mean, I get to mentor hundreds of women every single month in our programs, and most like our boardroom program, which is for women who are past the 6-figure mark. So they are successful entrepreneurs. They've made it past the early, I would say they're still in they might still be in startup phase, but they're past that proof point of revenue phase, right? They're outside of the side hustle phase, right? So they're in that category where they have a business, it's growing, it's sustainable, they have enough revenue to scale or to build a team, and now they're reaching that next milestone. So we have the boardroom, which meets for their own sessions. So we put them in different cohorts based on their revenue size and industry size. So we have a few cohorts that are million plus. We have cohorts that are between 250 and 500. Some that are between 100 to 250. Right. So they're in these different categories. And so I've been paying attention into what truly makes these women stand out and has helped them kind of scale through that initial journey, and then what's happening in this next phase. So for today's Wind Down Wednesday, and you see all my notes here today, this is always in real time. It's what's happening, what I'm thinking about. I want to talk about 5 traits of highly effective CEOs. And number 1, the first trait I wrote down is that great CEOs have vision, true vision, big vision. And I would say that I used to think that I didn't have big vision, or I wasn't a big dreamer, because I didn't know I could go build $1 million business, let alone $1 billion business. But I will tell you that once I got the hang of dreaming big, I uncapped that potential of what my business could be. I think as women, we should all over ourselves, right? We're like, we should do this, we should do this, we should do that. And we're told half the time what to do, right? We're put in our boxes, we're put in our lane, like in this is a lane that we should be at. And society literally tells us exactly how to behave constantly. So we become used to that, right? And that's what has to change for women. We have to dictate our own future of what we define for success instead of letting other people define that success for us. And so what makes great CEOs in men and women, they define what their success, their vision looks like, right? And great CEOs are really visionary. And what does it mean to be visionary? It means that you can see the forest through the trees, right? You're always on the zoomed out lens. And my brother can tell you, because I work with him every day, he's always like, sometimes I have to like zoom you back in because we still have so much day to day to do. But I'm a dreamer, right? I don't even think like this year, it's October right now. There is not a single conversation that I'm having right now at work that has anything to do with the rest of the year. All of my conversations are already next year focused and beyond, right? I'm already thinking 3 years out for the business. And that is what I want you to do as well. So I'm giving you these traits because really think about how you are behaving on a day to day and if you're emulating some of these traits or not. So, number one, CEOs have great vision. And not only do they have a great vision, they're able to articulate that vision, right? So that's number two. They're able to take that vision and actually translate and inspire their team, their customers, their vendors, their partners, and the world behind this vision. And I don't care what company you start, right? You can be a product-based business, a wine company, an agency, a healthcare company, like it doesn't matter, a SaaS company, a tech company, whatever, a coach, right? It doesn't matter. I still want you to have a big vision for what that vision for your company looks like. And I want you to inspire your team around that vision. So great CEOs are able to take that vision and not just stay up here. They're able to take that and turn it into a tangible message and a rallying cry that the organization can get behind, right? That customers get really, really excited for, that people want to come work for them. So many times I get asked, people are like, how did you build a team? How did you build a team? Honestly, I built a team because I was able to share my vision to my first hire and then to my second and to my third. And I rallied them around this vision that I had for the company, right? I was able to get investors because I was able to articulate my vision and get them excited for the vision. And so really think about your product, service, company. What is your vision as CEO? And are you actually articulating that vision into something that gets people excited and people talking and your team excited and your future team is excited and your future investors excited? And if out anywhere, your customers excited, right? Your customers should be excited and know your vision. And speaking of your customers, right? CEOs, like number three, is they build amazing relationships. Like great CEOs are the best relationship builders. And when I look back at, my success and the success of all of these women, they are cultivating relationships, right? Businesses are not built in a silo. I'm going to take a wine break here. Businesses are not built in a silo. They're not built alone. They're built by and through relationships, through collaboration. If you're by yourself right now in your business, even if like you have to expand that level of thing. How can you put yourself in the right rooms? And honestly, woman, no one's just gonna invite you, right? We're gonna invite you. You're on our table. Come into our circle. Come into our community. Surround yourself with other entrepreneurs. And you might not have like that perfect, it's not a linear journey, right? You might not have that perfect thing that you might need today. And that's not when you should be joining a community or surrounding yourself. Like that's not when you make the ask. Great CEOs build relationships, right? They're great with people. That's the people that I work with have the same values as me. They're building those relationships. I might not have, when I needed to have the podcast, I knew exactly where I needed to go. When I needed to have this service, I knew exactly where I needed to go, right? Because I built those relationships. And it's so important for you to be fostering and building relationships. And one of the things that I'm still so concerned with is this post-pandemic world of our youth not wanting to build meaningful relationships. Okay. So one, I said build relationships, but great CEOs build meaningful relationships where the give is there before the ask. right? Where they're actually investing the time to build these relationships. And I think 100% you should be thinking through your surroundings and what you're doing to put yourself into building the right relationships. Your relationships are going to take you everywhere in life. It's not about what you know. It's always about who you know. Okay? And it's so important to know the right people, and you can put yourself in the right rooms. So don't be afraid to put yourself in the right rooms. So that was trait number 3, is that great CEOs build meaningful relationships. Number 4 kind of ties back into, being able to explain their why or explain their vision, right? I guess I'm alluding to number 5. But number 4 is all about communication. Great CEOs are great at communication. And if you're like, Suneera, oh my God, that's not me. I can't do it. I'm horrible at communication. All of these traits can be learned, right? That's why we're here today. That's why you're listening today. You're here investing in your time, in your growth. You're learning for yourself. Like, I'm learning alongside with you. You don't have to. Great leaders are made, not born. They are made, not born, 100%. I was made into a great leader. I wasn't born a great leader. I was made into a great leader. My daughter is going to be a great leader because I am making her and shaping her into a great leader, right? We have leaders in our organization. My friends are great leaders because they are learning how to be great leaders. So if you feel like you naturally are not a great communicator, that is a fucking excuse. Make the time to learn and grow your craft, because every CEO I know that is successful is a great communicator. And it doesn't mean that you have to love public speaking, right? I think when we think about communication, our mind goes directly to, you don't have to be the CEO that has to be front and center on a stage. But communication and effective communication is so important. And really think about how you can cultivate and foster and grow your communication strategies and tactics to really help you better articulate yourself, communicate your thoughts, and drive people in the right direction. But also, communication requires a lot of listening as well, right? So communication means understanding the people and the parties in front of you to be able to get the right outcomes for yourself, for your business. And that understanding is also part of communication. And that is something that you can learn. And I encourage you to focus on communication and prioritizing effective communication. I'm actually going to write this one down because I think I can help you guys further on communication. If you want to learn more about communication, DM me and let's put together a boot camp or something. I want to do more on communication. I'm handing this off to my team right now because I think that this is a skill that can be learned. You don't have to be born with it, but it's so important. Okay. And then lastly, number 5, I put down here, and I can go on for like a longer list, but it is Wind Down Wednesday and they're supposed to be short. Number 5 is so cheesy, but it's knowing your why. Every great CEO not only has a vision for where the company is going, right? Can communicate, knows how to communicate that vision. They build relationships, but also they stay grounded, right? They stay grounded into why they are showing up every day. Entrepreneurship is so, so hard. And it's a battle of consistency, honestly. It's not the one who's like the loudest or the strongest. It's the one who continues to show up, right? I built a business that took 10 years to build, right? A lot of the times I see, us as women, we're always looking at our competitors or a competitive analysis or putting ourselves down because of, where someone else is in their journey. But they also started on day one. I started on day one. We're here in episodes, like, I think this is like, in our early 200s, like we just passed our 200th episode. And I was actually, I think you guys heard this on one of the fireside chats, but I was literally driving in the car and, the Spotify list plays like, okay, CEO School's episode is out. And then on the screen, I saw that it was episode 200 and I was in tears. Literally in tears. I don't know where like my emotion was coming from. I was just driving home, saw that it was episode 200. And it wasn't about it being episode 200 or, the podcast this is so important to me. And this impact that we're making here together, this community that we've built here together, I appreciate each and every single one of you so much. I cannot tell you. I don't know each and every single one of you, but I know each and every single one of you. And when that episode 200 came on, I just like tears started falling. I literally started falling because I realized that it was episode 200. And all I could think back was episode 1. And like when I almost didn't, like when I first got it started, and it was the janky equipment and like my laptop, and I was like, okay, we're going to do episode 1 and then episode 2 and then episode 3. And it took 3 years to get here. Now we're a top 25 entrepreneur show, thanks to all of you, but also thanks to me showing up, being consistent, right? And what keeps you consistent is knowing why you've begun in the first place, and like having that why front and center, because that's what's going to challenge you every single day. There's going to be something's going to punch you in the face every week as an entrepreneur. I guarantee it. Okay. Client's going to, not sign. Your employee's going to quit. You're going to have some challenge. Life is going to get in the way. Kids are going to get in the way. Revenue doesn't come into the door as you had hoped. Whatever the challenge may come, right? But what keeps you through is showing back up, right? Showing back up. And what keeps you showing back up is your why, right? Yes, there's the it's the drive and the hustle and the grit. But where does that come from? Why do people have grit? It's because they know their why, and great CEOs know their why, and that's what keeps me showing up every day and building and scaling and trying new things, and then getting to the other side, and even getting to the other side and then still wanting to continue on that journey. So that is my top 5 list of what makes great CEOs. And I know that you have that in you. Every single one of you has all of these traits. Every single one of you. And all of these traits are part of the entrepreneurship journey. But it's about that self-development and that growth, and putting that first, and putting yourself first, and that mindset first, of stepping into that mindset of a CEO in order for you to build and scale that business to that 2% club, beyond that million, to the billion, to whatever's next, to hundreds of billions, right? Whatever is next in your path. And it could be just having it might be a 6-figure business, and that's amazing too, right? But just defining it on your terms, on your vision, and knowing that vision and executing on it. But this is where it starts first. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's list of the 5 traits that I think make for an incredible CEO. And I hope that we together can crush this statistic and create equality for the underrepresented founders everywhere who deserve a seat at this table. And you can always come sit with us, learn from us. I wrote my communication bootcamp project plan out. I'm always here signing up for more stuff for all of you. I love all of you so very much. And thank you for being here listening today. Send me a DM. Let me know other topics that you want to focus on, hear about, learn from me on, and I will show up for you in the best way that I possibly can. All the light and love today on today's Wednesday. I hope each of you crushes your day. Until next week at CEO School. Thank you for tuning into today's show. If you loved it, leave us a review. We are so proud to bring you authentic conversations, game changer expert guests, and valuable content on and offline. The best compliment you can give us is by screenshotting today's show and tagging us on Instagram at CEO School and at Suneera Madhani. We are obsessed with swag, so don't be surprised if we want to send you some. Thanks for tuning into class today, and remember, nothing bad happens when women make more money.